Today's Reddit story comes from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's titled, Fake Proof That I Had a Flat Tire So That the Lazy People in My Group Project Would Have to Do the Presentation Themselves, Therefore Likely Will Fail. I'm in a class where a group research project / presentation is a huge chunk of overall points. Everyone knows in group projects you always have that one slacker who doesn't do anything that you have to compensate for. However, I got stuck with possibly the worst 3 people to be in a project with in the class. I did the entire research, presentation, poster boards, etc., among many other annoying things myself. I tried talking to them and telling them they need to put in their share of effort. Ignored. I've sent them tasks to do. Ignored. I tried to schedule meetings. They say they were coming and then leave me alone at the library. This happened from the get-go. It was abundantly clear that they expected everyone else to do the work, but everyone else turned out to be just me. Rule. We couldn't have things 100% memorized word for word, and we couldn't read off of anything. We had to actually know the subject. I was fully prepared to do most of the talking and even wrote down a small script for them and told them to know what to say during their part, at the very least. The night before I told them we had to meet to at least go over the whole thing one time. Once again, none of them showed. At this point, I'm livid and decide they can just do it themselves, which means they get up there not knowing a damn thing to say other than the small info I gave them and couldn't even BS anything because they did no research. Thing is, if we miss without an excuse, we failed the project. If you have an excuse, you have to have the documentation. I commute and live an hour away. So I decided that I'll conveniently have a flat tire right before class. Went out and actually bought a tire so I could have the receipt to prove it. Emailed the professor who said I could present by myself during his office hours. Turns out they completely bombed and not only probably failed the project, but since they're bad students, might even make them fail the class. Edit to say, the professor stated at the beginning that we were not allowed to contact him about people slacking in the group and said to work it out among ourselves. Said that we were adults and that he wouldn't even respond to emails about it. This story reminded me of when I was in college, and I remember I was in a similar situation. I was in a group of 5 people and only 2 people, myself and another classmate, did most of the work for the presentation, and we had 3 slackers in our group. It was very hard to try to find time to meet up with everyone and go over the topic. And it's similar to how the OP was, except in the situation in the OP, she did it by herself. But in my case, at least I had a partner. Again, my partner and I would send out emails, try to schedule times to work around everyone's schedule, just meet up and actually do the research and figure out who does what part for your presentation. Unfortunately, those 3 slackers always came up with some excuse saying, oh, I have work, or I have another group project due, or I can't meet up this and that. Hey, I get it. We're all in college. We're probably all working part-time jobs to just pay for our college education. But dude, you need to make time to meet up for this project, you know? So in the end, my partner and I, same situation, we couldn't email the professor about it because, again, the professor, just like this professor in the story, says, I don't want to hear about, slacking team members. So my partner and I, we decided, you know what? We're just going to do our part, and then on the day of the presentation, we're just going to let them fail. So on the day of the presentation, the 5 of us gets up, we do our presentations, then it was question and answer time, and the 3 slackers just stood there just not knowing what to say. And obviously the professor can see who actually did the actual work. And unfortunately, they still got the grade that we got. which is so unfair because one grade for the entire project. And it was as unfair as it was, we also realized that life is like that too. So we learned that next time, if we're in class with those three slackers or we ever get in the same group as them, we know what the expectation will be. Well, I wanted to know if you guys have ever experienced something similar to that. And if you did, please leave those in the comments section because I would love to hear about it. And if you like these type of stories, remember to continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.